I look like shit and I feel like shit, but I promised myself that I would record as much as possible about what's going on with me because it's important not just for other people to understand and not just for my medical records, but for me to look back on this and remember because my memory sucks anyway. And it's not that I want to remember bad stuff that's happened to me or whatever, it's that I want to remember the process and everything that I went through during treatment for various things because I'm getting treatment for several things right now. Currently, what I'm having is a reaction to my treatment for my, um, I guess my reproductive issues is the polite way to say it. I'm trying to see if my stuff is within easy reach. Yeah, it's way over there and I can't get up. So that's my microphone. It's my gaming headset, but it works. Anyway, I went. Basically, I've been having problems with my period, like, pretty much since I started it, but things didn't start getting bad until I was like 14 or 15, which is incidentally around the time that I am suspected to have contracted Lyme. And I have to use that wording because I don't have an FDA or whatever, a CDC approved diagnosis of Lyme disease, which is stupid, but that's another story. I'm not going to rage about that here. I will save that for another vlog. Um, but basically what's going on is I've been having severe cramps. Last Groundhog Day, I like how bad things happen to me, like on holidays. Like, St. Patrick's Day will be the third anniversary of the time I almost died because I was taking birth control pills and almost had a stroke. So yay me. Anyway, last Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2012, I had a cramp so bad that I passed out on the bathroom floor. And the next night, I actually had to perform a show. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, but I was able to basically drug myself into being able to stand. And I sat for one song. I did have to rest a couple times, and my guitarist sang a couple of songs himself. But I made it through with the help of lots of benzos and painkillers because I couldn't do anything else. And then I went to the doctor. He tried me on a low estrogen. I can't remember the name of it, but he tried me on a low estrogen um, birth control pill because we suspected that my estrogen was high, and that was why I was having the blood pressure problems before, like 2 years earlier. And it made me really emotional and cranky, and then it made my periods worse. And I thought, nope. So, cut to about a year later, and I visit him in February, mid-February, and I'm like, you know what, my periods suck. Um, we've been dancing around this issue for a few years now. I want a hysterectomy. He said, well, come in on the day that your cramps are the worst and we're going to take your blood. The day my cramps are the worst happened to be like a week later. 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 4 weeks ago. Sorry, anyway, I gotta stop apologizing because that'll just make the video longer. So got my blood drawn 4 weeks ago. Then 3 weeks ago I went back for the results. My estrogen's a little low. My follicle stimulating hormone, which is what tells your body to release eggs and when to release them, is normal. The thing that's abnormal is the amount of eggs I have available for fertilization. I'm actually technically infertile. So that was fun to find out, and I still get a little upset if I talk about it in detail, but essentially the basics are Lyme disease is a drill. It can destroy organs, it can cross the blood-brain barrier, and apparently it decided to go for my reproductive system. So those egg cells are gone. They've been destroyed. And I have a condition, speculated condition, but it's the only thing that makes sense to my doctor right now. Adenomyosis. It's basically when the lining of the uterus goes into the uterine wall. It normally affects women who have had babies who've been pregnant because that stretches the muscle fibers of the uterus enough that sometimes the endometrium can get through and embed itself in the muscle wall. And Uh, well, I had happy little Lyme disease bacterium go in. And that's my gynecologist calling me back, so I'll be right back. Like, it's, if this was like something, normal that like everyone who was on this was experiencing and whatnot, like I guess it would make me worry less. But the fact that like I mean I'm trying to do things and I have to stop because of pain and I'm not even on my period, like that's ridiculous to me. Yay. Okay. Yep, got it written down. Thank you so much. Well, I had to sit up to get my appointment book anyway, so I'm sitting up now. Um, and I'm a little more uncomfortable, but I know this is actually nerves now instead of just the pain. That poor nurse. I've been dealing with this sort of problem since I was 14 or 15, so I'm 29 now. Do the math. Half my fucking life, basically, I've been dealing with this. And so when they call me back to talk to me about pain issues, I usually, without knowing it, I like answer the questions they're going to ask just by telling them what I'm doing. Because one of the things she asked me, are you taking the Anaprox, which is naproxen sodium, basically. It's Aleve. It's really strong Aleve, and I'm taking one every 12 hours, like I'm supposed to. She said, you're on Lortab, right? I said, yes, for my cramps. She goes, are you taking those? I said, as needed. They're not doing anything. She said, are you taking two Lortab? I said, I'm not, I don't hate my liver that much. And she kind of laughed, but one 10 milligram Lortab should be doing something, and it's not. So I'm concerned. And so I expressed my concerns to her, as you just saw. You saw like a little snippet of my conversation because I forgot to hit stop while I was recording. Um, like a boss. I I'm going in on Monday to talk about it because this is pretty damn ridiculous. And she said, "You're doing everything that I would tell you to do over the phone. Your your pain scale is not emergency room right now." Because here's the deal with my pain scale. Everyone's pain scale is subjective, but they have an objective scale that everybody has to adhere to in order to assess emergencies. I would say right now that for a normal person, and normal meaning somebody who either doesn't have a high pain threshold, or rather pain tolerance, or isn't used to it, my pain would be about a 6 or a 7 right now, which is like serious cause for concern. That's actually the point where they send you to the ER to get stronger painkillers for this problem. For me, it's like a 4 or 5. It's cause for concern, but it's not like, oh my god, I'm dying. It's just really uncomfortable and extremely unfortunate. When I spike, however, because I do have unexpected, it's like suddenly a wild cramp appeared. It was super effective. Like I can't stand up. And that is a problem. That's my 8 or 9. My 10 is passing out. Most people's 10 is just laying in agony. My 10 is straight up, I can't be conscious anymore. So I have to do my pain scale differently. But from how I explained it to her, she went, you've done everything that we've told you to do. If it gets worse, go to the ER. If it doesn't, we'll see you on Monday. Like little cramps I could handle. That's nothing. But the cramps I'm having, I'm really not too excited about that. So anyway, I'm going in on Monday morning, and ER this weekend if they get worse. It's just interesting to see where this experiment's going. I'm probably going to have either an ultrasound or an MRI on Monday to see if there's anything abnormal, if there's a growth, because the last ultrasound I had was a year ago and they didn't find anything. They found diddly and squat. So I'm kind of back at square one because they're like, a lot can happen in a year. I'm like, yeah, sure as hell can. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go eat because I'm my hunger has overtaken my pain at this point. So, and apologize for the length and content of this video for those who are squeamish, but this is my fucking life, and I'm putting it on the internet. So, I guess you better get used to it or unsubscribe, one or the other. So, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.